Hello, hello. I think we're live. If you're watching this after the fact, make sure and check the description below on YouTube for time codes. Thanks to David in advance for taking those. We'll get going in just a couple minutes here, but I like to give everything a little bit of time to get started. And it's time for me to pause all the video streams as well. So that's good. We got some exciting stuff today. I don't want to spoil it. It's going to be, I think people will be excited. How's the smoke up there? Not too bad. The window's open. It's just overcast here. So, hi and bye, PT. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for letting me take over. Hi, Dishipu. Hi, Unexpected Maker. Hi, Biata. Hi, Hamslab. Hi, Bruce S. Hey, Gary Z. I saw Ask Patrick W waiting as well. And Minnesota Mentat was waiting, along with Dr. and Yanni. People are excited. I just adjusted the camera. Hopefully this is okay. Hey, David. I raised my desk, which means that, but my camera can't tilt down it quite as far. Oh, great. A great photo of Jepler with Blinka. Awesome. I'm so glad that Jeff finally got to visit. Hey, MD Roberts. Hey, Bruce S. No smoke, just a bit of rain. Hi, Dexter. Hey, Love the Factory. Hi, Keithy EE. Oh, yeah, Unexpected Maker, you're going to be real excited. Ooh. Let's check out these photos of Jeff here. Hi, Pierre. Oops. Oh, YouTube redirected it. Look at that. Jeff's visiting HQ this week and got to do his Blinka pictures, which is so fun. It's also like super nerve-wracking. I wish last time I did pictures I had had a little bit of alcohol and made it loosen me up. That's what my my partner when we took engagement photos, she was like, drink this beer and then we can take pictures. Makes me a little looser. Yeah, so this is the photos are taken by the same person that does not drunk, just a little less inhibited. All right, so it is 2 minutes after, so let's get started. I do have a hard stop today. I've got stuff going on this evening, so I can't leak out past 4 o'clock too much. So, Hamslab says, had a Zoom session where the dogs on each side started barking. Bruce says, I'm much better in photos as well. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Okay, let's do housekeeping and let's get this show on the road. So, hello everyone. My name is Scott and I work for Adafruit on Circuitpython. If you don't know what those things are, thanks PT. PT is one of the leaders of Adafruit. So Adafruit is an open source hardware and software company based out of New York City. I work remotely for them, so I am here in Seattle. So I'm 3 hours different. It's 2 p.m. Pacific right now for me. So yeah, open source hardware and software, which is awesome. And then CircuitPython is a version of Python designed for microcontrollers, which are tiny, inexpensive computers that are in a lot of devices to do basic control stuff. And so they're really inexpensive, but they're pretty powerful for the cost. So CircuitPython brings Python to that and has a uniform API and a bunch of libraries and tutorials and all that good stuff. So if you want to support me and my work, support Adafruit by going to adafruit.com and purchasing stuff there. Lots of cool stuff, always coming. Lady Ada, who owns the company and founded it, is constantly making really cool stuff. So that's been neat. If you want to chat with me and a lot of others, we have in the middle here the Discord server. If you want to join that, you can go to the URL adafru.it/discord. That's where we do general development all week. So you can follow along more closely there. This is a deep dive. It happens every week, normally Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific. That's now if you're in a different time zone. It's occasionally shifted to Thursdays at 2 p.m. If we're doing something on Friday. That hasn't happened for a while. Typically goes for 2 hours or more. Today will be under 2 hours. Well, right around 2 hours because I have a hard stop. Hi, Patrick. And yeah, questions are welcome. So if you have questions, you can try to derail me. There's some exciting stuff I want to show off on the mailbag. And I just remembered I forgot to check whether the overhead cam was working or not. So we'll see. We'll see that. So I think that's it. If folks have questions, let me know. The cat's not in here for those of you who watched before. I think he got distracted with trying to get food downstairs, and he missed his opportunity to come in here before I shut the door. So no cat today, sorry. But some other cool stuff. Okay, so that is that. If folks have questions, let me know. I did want to do a quick recap from last week. Unexpected Maker has a question, but it's going to wait for the surprise. I want to cover just briefly. Yeah, Spook is not in here today, so we won't talk about that. Spook is the cat. I just wanted to say that the stuff that we worked on last week for the CI did get merged in. And it looks to be working, although there was one slight hiccup that had to do with it. But if you want to see that, you can go to... Deshipu says, "Oh no cats, we can leave." Sorry, I could have coaxed him up here, but I was like, He was curled up here earlier. Yeah, so I did have to do one slight modification to the GitHub CI stuff. So we had this matrix from JSON thing here. And it was throwing an error. It was throwing an error if the list was empty. So I added this additional check that says only run the build job if it's not an empty list. So yeah, so this will only affect pull requests. And if you want to see, it's been really nice so far. Like we can see here, here's a change that Dan did. And if we look at the files, they're all in NRF. And then if we see here, like the checks is only 46. So it only had to build all of the NRF boards again, which is awesome. And exactly what we wanted. So that worked well. Anything else for me? I've been doing a lot of BLE stuff. BLE workflow stuff. So that's in the works. It's hard to talk about that because the apps and everything is still so new. So I'm still primarily working on that. Somebody came up with a fix for NRF on GCC 11, so I'm actually on GCC 11 now, which is awesome. So thanks to them. And then here's the CI. Here's the CI changes that I ended up with. And I think this is basically what we laid out last week of like, here's all the different outputs. Here's the file change thing. And then here's the Python script that takes in those changed files. Yeah, it's working really good. And a bonus that I don't know if I realized this on the stream or not about this CI stuff, but you no longer have to add your board to a list. See, this list of boards is like gone. Because now we're auto detecting all of the boards. So it'll be even easier. And actually that reminds me, there's a Learn guide that needs to be updated. So note to self, there's a learn guide that needs to be updated, because I think the adding your board to CircuitPython guide still would tell you that. Did you measure the CPU savings with the new CI? I didn't. I mean, it depends on like the PR patterns, right? Like it depends on how many PRs can fit in that bucket of like running fewer jobs. It's certainly good. I think it's clearly a win. It's just I don't know how much of a win it is. Yeah, and Pierre says one less step to create a new board. Yep, an unexpected maker always has that problem too. For anyone that is, I was just responding to the chat, which made me think there is a YouTube setting for what latency you're setting at, that you're setting the stream to, and I set it to low latency, and I just looked today. It looks like low latency does not allow for the auto captioning. So if anybody here would like captioning on the stream, or you're watching this later and would like captioning on the stream itself, like you would watch the stream if it was captioned, let me know, and I'll do normal latency instead, because it's important to me that if somebody needs the live captioning, they get that. So just let me know if that's interesting to you. You can put a note in the comments, or if you're in the chat right now, let me know. So yeah, that's something I'm aware of. I think low latency used to auto caption, and they changed it. Which maybe I should try ultra low latency if nobody says it. Hey, Randall. Didn't say hi to you. Or Patrick, or maybe I did. I know we have multiple Patricks. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward, this code here. I don't remember how far I got. But this is just doing some analysis based on the board mapping. So port to boards, and then board to port. So these two mappings are for like, oh, we know we need to build everything in a board, then we do that, and then going from a board ID to a port. So we go through all the files, and we say that if it's if it's a push to the CircuitPython repo, then we just build everything. Right, because it's already set to all board IDs. Otherwise, we set boards to build to an empty set, and then we have these two patterns of like board folders and ports folders, and then we go through all the files. If it's board file, we add the board itself. If it's port, we add all of the boards. And if there's duplicates, it's not a problem because we're putting into a set. And then if we end up all the way down, we just do all the boards and then break out of it. And then for every board, we just have to map it to those 3 different build jobs, the ARM, RISC-V, or Extensa. Although Extensa probably should actually be called ESP, depending on like how the build works, if it's a RISC-V core instead. So pretty straightforward, and it's been working pretty well. So I thought I'd start with that just as a follow-up. So, okay, so let's get on. Well, Pierre has a question. It says, for my own fork before a PR, does that mean that only my new board will build 1 instead of 190? I think so. So I think the way that I had it was, if you're pushing to a non-Adafruit CircuitPython branch, I think what it will do is only do like the last commit's worth of stuff. But actually try it and let me know, because I'm not positive on that. My hope is that yes, it would only build yours. That was my intention. But I'm not, it depends on how that library that figures out all the changed files works. But yeah, my intent was that it would only build the one. It actually does one build for every port. There's a job called the Windows job, and that tests building one board of every port on Windows. And so you actually do get a build of one of each there. But yeah, I haven't actually measured the savings. I'm sure it's good. We don't, like, GitHub doesn't bill us for our usage because we're an open source project. So it's not like we see it for that. All right, let's go on. Let's see if the overhead's working. Oh, that's cat cam. Cat cam without a cat. Okay, it looks like the overhead is working well enough after I adjust it. So I made an Adafruit order, and let me switch it. Come on. There we go. And lock. Sorry, I didn't do this before. Okay, so here we have some stuff that I got from Adafruit. And if you don't realize it, I do get it for free because I work for them. So first thing I got was this HDMI video capture thing. So this is a very basic, not super expensive HDMI capture thing that Phil was using for a while. So it's like pretty decent, but maybe not the best. It is only like USB 2. I was surprised by that. It's actually just USB 2. And so, but I picked this up. The reason I picked it up was because I want to do the Raspberry Pi stuff. And the Raspberry Pi stuff, Raspberry Pis have HDMI output. So I thought having this would be really nice to be able to capture the HDMI output of the Raspberry Pi that I'm working on. I actually did get a screen as well off Amazon. And I haven't tried this yet, so this is not an endorsement, but I got like a 7-inch HDMI screen from Elgato. That should be nice for like when I'm just like experimenting with it too. So I'm excited to get their work on the Raspberry Pi stuff. Once 7.0 is out and the BLE stuff is not on me, that'll be good. And here I got just this. It's a mini to HDMI converter, again because the Raspberry Pis. So that's it. Besides the big reveal, which is this, and Unexpected Maker did call it. It's a dev board for the ESP32-S3. You may have remembered a couple weeks ago. Oh, Doctor says it works on USB 2 because it's heavily compressed. That makes sense. Yeah, so a couple weeks ago we had that really weird issue on the ESP32-S2, and we reached out to Ivan, and one thing that Ivan said was like, "Hey, do you want an S3?" And I said, "Yes, please." And the fastest way to do that as well is basically like they send it to Adafruit and then I make an order off Adafruit and they throw it in for me. Pierre says some people use these as opposed to connecting a monitor to their Pi 400. Not sure about latency, but it sure beats switching wires around. Yeah. Hey, Ivan. Thank you. Yeah, so this is an ESP32-S3 dev board. I have not looked at it, and I have not... Oh, looks like I got the bag. So there's 3 total. I only got 1. I believe Jeff got 1 as well. So yeah, I guess Lamore would get the 3rd one. So I thought what would be fun... Exactly. Bruce S says time to get it working. So I kind of have this theory that I might be able to get it working in an hour and 40 minutes because I hope that the esp-idf does all the heavy lifting. And so I thought I'd see. So that's what I think I'm gonna try to do today. There's certainly gonna be more work to do once it gets working, but once we get it building and stuff, like that's a huge hurdle. So like if I can get the build working and the USB stuff working, which should all be working hopefully from the IDF. Like I haven't looked yet, but I know that we're using it 4.3, which has some S3 support in it. Yeah. It should, so long as set target is right, but you need to be on a later IDF. Do I have to be on something newer than 4.3? Do you need the master branch of the IDF? I do not know. I honestly, like, you'll see, I have not even, like, pulled up the data sheet. I haven't. Oh, unexpected maker. Do you have CircuitPython partially working? Here, I'll lock it. Do you have a branch that I should start from? Oh, come on. The major work is in 4.4. I mean, we could change it, but I'd rather not, since we're trying to be stable. Latest master for S3 support. Okay. I mean, we can switch it. If that'll save headaches. It just means that we may not want to merge it yet. Like, these aren't super available. So we might just have a branch for a little while that we can start with. So let's just take a look at this. I haven't even looked at this. So let me bring the mic over here. What do we see? So we've got 2 USB ports. There's no label on the bottom, but this right one is labeled UART and the left one is labeled USB. So this is an improvement from the previous dev board, the Saulo, where they only had the UART equivalent broken out. Might need 4.3.1. So we should be on 4.3.1. Because I did update based on the... There was a silicon change and broke compatibility. Well, Ivan would know. It says I should be on master. I don't know what version of silicon this is. Let's see. So then there's boot and reset, and then the FTDI chip. So this is the thing that's doing the UART to USB conversion. There's an RGB LED on GPIO 48. This is a power regulator. And then this is flash. So this must not have any external PSRAM. I'm assuming this is flash, and then this is the S3 chip. And that's obviously this is the crystal for it. Hi, Electromaker. Thanks for the tweet. I saw it go out. M equals no PSRAM. Okay. I mean, we have CircuitPython working without it, so that's good. Yes, I did get an S3, thanks to Ivan. Got a few sent to Adafruit, and I got one of them. So we're going to see how far we can get. That's Rev 0, latest before production. Okay, so let's go to this view. And first I'm going to try to find a datasheet. ESP32-S3. Not sure which of the 3 boards you got. Was it different? I can read something off here. Let's see. S3222021. That's probably the week and the year. R2M&P 1470000. Something like that. Yay, data sheets. All right, let's see what we got here. So we're definitely not going to get, I don't think we're going to get to the point of we're not going to do Bluetooth today. That's not going to happen, right? The goal here is to get it building. So getting it building would be a big step. And 2, getting USB working would be awesome. So I have no idea. Like, I have not done any prep work for this, so we shall see. Okay, what do we got here? Technical documents. So this is just the top level technical documents, but that should be fine. S2 datasheet. Do I have to get the datasheet some secret way? It's possible it's not released yet. Oh, here we go. Oh. Nothing? I don't necessarily need no online datasheet. I'm not sure I got emailed one. I can check my email. I don't need it. I could do it without it. It's all just going to be chasing build errors anyway. A repl will be nice. We're doing it live. Don't show in public. Yeah, okay. I don't need it yet. Thank you. So Unexpected Maker shared it with me, but we're not allowed. We probably can't share it yet. So we'll do it without. We'll do it without. It shouldn't be too bad. Like, it's really just going to be updating the IDF and figuring out how to switch it. So let's get started. Actually, no, first I want to do an overview. So let's just go back and just read the blurb about it, because I don't even know like how much RAM there is, all that stuff. So what's it say? It is a dual core Extensa LX7 running at 240. What is the S2 240 as well? I think it is, right? Let's compare. It doesn't even say. Weird. I think it is 240. It's okay. I can't get too distracted because then I'm going to have less time to like fix build issues. Okay, so it's a 240 megahertz, 512K internal SRAM, which the S2 is like 340, 360. It comes integrated with 2.4 gigahertz BGN Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5, which is Bluetooth LE, which is awesome. So we should be able to get BLE-IO working on here, which will be awesome. 45 GPIO, rich set of peripherals, and supports larger high-speed octal SPI flash and PSRAM with configurable data and instruction cache. All right, let's just get going. Git fetch Adafruit. Git switch. ESP32-S3. So at the end of the stream, I'll push however far I get. So if folks want to follow along, feel free to do that. I have a feeling that this is going to be a lot of just redoing some. Let me switch to redoing a lot of the build stuff, I suggest. Greater than 0 megahertz. And the S2 is also 240. Okay. But my hope is that because it's dual core, we'll run CircuitPython on one core and all the Wi-Fi stuff in the other core, which should effectively speed up CircuitPython. Oh, and Unexpected Maker's giving me reference to. You think I need to know everything on the stream? I just fake my way through it. Okay, and I can delete this file because I'm done with it. I was working on the so I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this directory. Obviously, it's not just the S. It won't be just the S2 anymore. That should be fine. I don't want to name it whatever MicroPython calls it. I don't really want the S part in it either because, yeah, like they call it ESP32, which I would really like to call it that too. ESP32. You know what? I think maybe I'll just call it ESP. How about that? So let's move out of it and do move, git move ESP32-S2 to ESP. And maybe we'll just call it espressif, because we have Raspberry Pi for the RP2040. So let's do that. Okay, and now what I want to do is update the IDF. Call it S3. Well, no, because I don't want to call it S3 because it's also going to work for the S2, and hopefully will also work for the C3 and the ESP32. So like there is a world where we get around to supporting the ESP32 and the C3 as well. Basically, S3 is a good stepping stone for us to add Bluetooth support, and then once we have Bluetooth support, we can support the C3 and the 32 as well. So we're going to make the move to CMake. Haha, no. I don't understand CMake. You're welcome to make the move to CMake. I am not planning on doing that. I'm going to do what I did last time, and I know it's a pain to maintain, but it's also very straightforward. Like it's yeah. No, I'm not going to. It's more important to me that the build system is consistent across ports than it is with the IDF. So we'll parameterize things hopefully to do it, but GNU Make forever. It's hung around a long time, right? So I'm gonna see what remotes I got, and then I'm gonna git fetch espressif, and we'll just go to master. Should we live on the wild side? There's no 4.4 release branch yet. Like that's what we would do otherwise. We don't use STK board definitions usually anyway. And we don't update the IDF that much either. So like, I understand why you would do it. I'm just not going to. There are reasons that I wouldn't do it. So let's just check out master here. Get all the new submodules. It's stable-ish. So we'll probably want to wait at least till 4.4 is branched off. Let's go into these two directories. CMake. These probably just need to be updated themselves. No? Oh yeah. I can do recursive. I just don't necessarily like doing recursive updates because didn't work. Deleted. Oh. I just need to delete it then? Local modifications. See, this is where, remember, git status is your friend. I don't get it. Are these files there or not? Let's pull it up. Okay, where are we? Component CMake vendor. Component CMake vendor. C exception. So it should be there. Git reset hardhead. Okay, I can do that. Usually I don't like to do that, but maybe I have to do that in the submodules. Nope. That worked. Okay. We're green. Yeah, so I don't even want to get going until... There we go. Okay, so here we are. And now we're going to get ourselves in the state. So I just installed... Oh, you know what? I'm already in a virtual environment for my other builds. So I can deactivate that, do the install again. And it's going to set up its own virtual environment. Right. Looks like that worked. So now let's do... I wonder if the first thing we should do is... Well, git status is not useful. Maybe what I should do is I should commit at this point. I should either commit or I should make. Like maybe I just... How boring is that if this stream is just me getting an existing board building? But that's probably the best way to go about it, actually, is to like update the IDF, do a commit. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. Clean. There we go. I had build artifacts going. Honestly, it's really informative. I'm glad you find it informative. Okay, so this is where we like. This is what would be easy if we actually did CMake. No equals. Oh, it looks okay. But the problem is like sometimes things move, right? So this path here is now gone. So if we do ESP sleep, but wait, what was that? I installed a Rust version of find that would be perfect for this. Rust CLI find replacement. FD, okay. So this is where I do FD. How does this work? FD pattern path. Pattern first. So we're looking for ESP sleep. Usually the file's not renamed, it's just moved. So that's where it is now. So we just open it. Oh, what file was that? Let's not do that one first. This is in pin alarm. So let's go to pin alarm. And let me just close all these files. I don't think I need them. I don't think I need any of these. This is all from the BLE stuff I was doing. Okay. And we're not in NRF land, we're in espressif land. And common hal alarm, pin alarm. And sleep was moved to ESP. What was it? Hardware support? Yeah. I know folks are like, oh, this is gonna be so boring, but this is programming. All right, that's not happy. When in doubt, do a clean. Extensa ESP debug helpers in pin alarm as well. System. I am assuming that like the files have basically the same contents. And it looks like it's building an s2.a file, so that's going to be a problem for us when we switch to the S3, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any pin alarm problems now. What we have now is a HAL MISC problem in TWAILL. So that is going to be a build file problem. Like we had this big long list of HAL platform underscore port. So let's open this make file. And all of these things that we shouldn't be doing, but we're doing anyway. HAL platform port. That's what it was. Hi, Fetty2. When in doubt, find a bigger rock. Boring is good means things work. Hopefully. I mean, like, would I rather learn CMake or just go through all this? CPULL. I don't know. I'm not learning anything. I'm just doing it. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So C3, H2, S2, S3. So for now, let's just do the S2. But one thing we can do in here is we'll be able to components. How? What we'll be able to do is we'll be able to put a variable in here in the future. Dylan says, I know some people love CMake, but man, I found it painful to get things going with it. Yeah, I've just not gotten over the hump. Like, if I worked at a company that used it, I think I would pick it up. Like, I think I could pick it up. It's just like, unknown target. Right, so now we have this list of maybe we can write a bit of CMake to generate make snippets, which you can include in your build system. I tried to hook it to Ninja. I mean, we're kind of calling the Ninja stuff. There should be a version of every script that posts to the right one based on set target. That shipper says, please don't. Right? Like, I mean, this is probably boring to watch, but this is like not hard work. It just takes time. And at some point, like, it works. Like, we don't update it that much. So it's not worth learning a whole new system. And one of the things that put me off about CMake was that, like, oh, you know, since we're not doing anything on the hardware yet. Like, one of the things that turned me off about CMake is they have this whole programming language of their own. And it's just like, I don't want to learn this. So one thing we can do here, though, is that comes from, like, there's all these S2s here, right? And I thought we had a list of libraries that we're trying to build. which is, those are binary blobs. Yeah, so here's the Ninja command that we're basically using to build stuff from Ninja. So we could just see, like, this probably moved as well. It probably already, most of it just probably got moved around. So what we can do here is we're building the S2 and then esp-idf. Then we have a build Ninja. And it's got all of this, but let's just see if 32. Where do we think that ended up? Oh, it doesn't exist. You can remove it. Sure, I can. Ivan, thank you very much for watching. I'm guessing that this linker, this LD goes away as well. What will happen is that if we don't include something, we'll just have a symbol that we don't have. There's a good question. Let me. Keith says, would this stream be a solid example of how to add a board to CircuitPython? Adding a board to CircuitPython is much simpler. Much simpler. I think maybe Unexpected Maker has streamed that. Yeah, this is more difficult than that. Andy Roberts says, can you talk about the architecture / partitioning of CircuitPython on the ESP32 a bit? How does CircuitPython work with the RTOS and the ESP? I would have been wondering if it would be easiest to have CircuitPython running on a core of an STM32 with the other core doing communications. So the way that we have it set up is like the esp-idf gets everything going in free RTOS, and then there's the app or the main task or the app task. I forget what it's called, but I know where it is. So in supervisor here, for the ESP, there's port.c, and I think it's at the bottom. There's this app main call. So this is where the IDF and its RTOS calls app main, and then we call our top level main that we run for everything. And then we have all this, like, you'll see that we have like free RTOS stuff, but all of the free RTOS stuff is like contained within the ESP port. That's a good idea. Unexpected Maker, maybe you streamed making a new board definition in CircuitPython. Because Keith the EE was wondering if what I'm doing now is like adding a new board, and it's much more difficult. But yeah, Ivan has a really good suggestion, which is the linker scripts got moved around. Recommend you run a hello world build and check the linker arguments there. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Let me just, yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of this as well. Getting a hello world working is a good idea though too. Let's do that. It's going to be less boring. Do I have? I was going to use a version of the IDF that's outside. Look, No, never streamed it. Not a bad idea. I have 3 new boards coming, so I can definitely do that. There you go. So Keith the EE, you should watch Keith the EE. You should watch Unexpected Maker streams. I probably have done it, but I'm not sure when. All right, let's do. I must have done the ESP stuff on my laptop, not on this computer. I'm gonna make another checkout of The IDF. Oop, that was my tab. Slowly trying to be more of a feel for the whole setup. There's a really good learning guide for adding a new board, so I'd suggest checking that out as well. It's much, much easier than this. You basically like duplicate the folder and then change all the settings. I mean, I know it sounds easy, but getting CircuitPython building is probably potentially more difficult than that. Okay. So we're in the IDF. And I don't know how to build an example. I'm useless with CMake. That is part of the problem too. Hey, look, there's an examples directory. Hey, look, there's instructions. What are the odds that I know how to do this? I'm in a different terminal. And change into the directory of the new example you'd like to build. Okay. Exa. All right, what are we gonna do? There's a get started. Blink. Let's do blink. Or hello world. Hello world's gonna do. Okay. So let's go here and do idf-py set target. But I'm gonna, should I tease you? idf-py set target. It's probably got a dash, doesn't it? Yep. ESP32-S3. New SDK config found. Oh, am I not in the right directory? I'm not, am I? I listed it, but I didn't move to it. All right, there we go. Hello world just prints some debug output. I'm actually going to do, I should do it on the S2 because I'm trying to fix. I'm just going to be such a tease, aren't I? I'm not going to even touch the S3 by the time I get to the end of today. We'll see. It'll just be updating the IDF, which is a start. Make menu config. Yeah. It's like really, sometimes it's hard to be disciplined like this of like, oh, I want to just jump straight to the S3. But like making sure that all the S2 stuff is working is going to save a lot of time. Yeah, this git clone is, I've got gigabit Ethernet. Ooh, what is a good guide for Adafruit requests on CircuitPython? I don't know. I don't know if we have a good one. Like, a lot of the web guides rely on you. They rely on the higher level libraries to do it for you, which I'm not a huge fan of. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of like the magtag library. IDF menu config. I just think if you're wrapping everything in Python, Why not just have Python do everything? Why use CMake under the hood? I mean, obviously, I'm biased. Okay. Sure. Build. Build, build, build. Okay. All right, looks like it built. I wonder if we can have it do... Well, so now we have our reference. Let's get it open, or whether we just go back. Not sure exactly what we need to compare to at this point. I think we should go back to... I don't actually care if this works. I assume it works. I'm just looking for the settings. But I've got more of this to do. I've got more just like replace stuff. ESP debug headers. I'm gonna go back to that port. Oh, I have it open. ESP debug helper. I think that was in ESP system. Okay, I don't see it. There it is. What I wanted out of a build system is really, like, the challenge that we have in CircuitPython is that we build a lot of variations. And I want a build system that can look at all the variations on what I want to build and then reduce, like, share the work for the stuff that can be shared. But it's not at all simple. Not at all a simple thing to do. Okay. So that worked, but now we're in supervisor USB. You know what? I think this might be a problem because I'm running concurrently. It might be simpler to just knock this down to J1. Yeah, look at that. These are the errors that we want to chase right now. USB perf. Components include sock. Interesting that there's an S3 one, but no longer an S2 one. So 39. Yeah. Unexpected Maker says, make to CMake comparison. I got MicroPython booting to REPL on S3 in about 50 minutes. I spent 3 days on CircuitPython and could not boot the firmware I built. Yeah, but you know what? I'd like to see you do any build stuff on any of the other ports in MicroPython. Although they've done a good, like, Damien's done a pretty good job moving others to CMake as well. But, like, you gotta value the fact that it's the same across all the ports as well. Like, that's... It's not just an espressif world. Okay. Components, sock, S2. Include sock. No such directory. It's in trying to include this. So this is probably the ESP hardware support include. It probably needs to go the other way. Yeah. So we need this in our... So we need another include path. We could copy this from port. Where did it go? It's in ESP system. Like if somebody wants to switch CircuitPython completely over to CMake, I'll use it. But Zephyr is also using CMake. I know. Zephyr uses CMake, and they use kconfig, and they use device tree. Like, there's a huge learning curve to their build system. Okay, here we go. So the definition of something moved. PCNT. Do. Driver include driver PCNT. That makes a lot of sense. Too bad I didn't look where I was. Frequency in. Frequency IO, frequency in. And then driver include driver. Oh, you know, we may not want the driver. We might want peripherals. Is there a separate one? It might be that, actually. I didn't do this, otherwise I would have done the full. It seems like this is talking to the lower level of it. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah. See how that does. For some reason, I thought this was going to be a mailbag stream. It is a mailbag stream. I only got one box with 3 items in it. RG is a rip grep. I can just do it from there. Oh, it is in driver. This is probably what we want. I don't know. I'm super biased, but like I don't feel like build systems work well for CircuitPython. Well, that went worse, not better. Maybe we need both. I don't even know what, like. This makes the header work. Yes. Let's see. What am I missing? Talking about variations, what's your take on optimized builds for the SAMD21? Take things out of the generic Xiao and swapping keyboard-specific stuff. The idea of multiple versions isn't great. I don't generally like them, but for the SAMD21, there are cases where you really can't get around it. There's precedence for it. We have multiple versions for Circuit Playground Expresses. So if you wanted to make a board def for it, I think we would have it. We would pull it in. But generally, I'm against it. Generally, I don't want to have to worry about checking which version people have. Unexpected Maker says, Ivan, you folks have done a smashing job getting everything working so well in the IDF now across all the different hardware and tool chains. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean, I'm trying not, I don't want to reflect poorly on IDF. Like, I am choosing to not use CMake, and therefore I am choosing this pain that I'm going through. That is not on the espressif, folks. Mark says I'm using CPy in a work project. Maybe I could spend some time moving it over to CMake. I would. If somebody wants to switch us over to CMake, I would merge that in. But I would want CMake on all of our ports. Like there's some makefile mechanics that we've swapped over to that have like are good. Like all of the CircuitPy_def stuff, like it's uniform across all the ports, and that's incredibly valuable. Like those are the things that we change far more than like the SDKs that we're depending on. But yeah, if somebody came to me tomorrow and said I switch you to CMake, like I do think that that's fine. Like Make has its problems too. It's just like right now it's the problems that we know. Yeah, so I'm updating the IDF. I am actually kind of skeptical I'm going to get to the point where RG is rip grep. It's a replacement. It's a Rust replacement for grep. Spicy Baguette says, I quit CMake because I literally got a headache reading the config files. Unexpected Maker says, yeah, it would have to be a total swap out. That's so much work. Yes, it is. Dylan says, in CMake's defense, I think they're trying to get away from all caps. Yeah. And everybody, Zephyr and esp-idf, they wrap CMake in Python. So, like, why does CMake need to have their own custom language if everybody's just wrapping it in Python? Like, come on, folks. We should be able to do this in Python. We shouldn't need a new language. I think whatever solution people did come up with, like, you would want to interoperate with CMake. Let me try to finish my thought. All right, well, this frequency and stuff is kind of throwing me for a loop. In interrupt handler, implicit declaration of function this. Okay, where is this? Yeah, so it was renamed. But I bet... Yeah, there we go. So it is in components driver. It's just got the peripherals prefix removed. 156. And if I had to guess, that's also removed. Timer DNet. Group number, timer number. Okay. So this is still happening. 84. I mean, it seems like it was the peripherals prefix that was removed. What are good Git tools to answer the question, what did the variable get renamed from? I don't know. I mean, one thing I could have done is like looked through basically the whole history to get an idea of what's changed. And I could look at the history of the files that these things are in. but I don't know. Where does this come from? This is my process. Interesting. Oh, is it a private API now? Components driver. Sorry, there's no cat today. Ninja and Python, yes. You want to know what I want to call it? I bought the domain bare metal ninja. baremetal.ninja. I've thought about it. This is something that I would like to do at some point. Hi, Maiko. I don't know if I said hi to you or not. I don't recall having such a prefix. Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's probably what it is. It's not that at all. We have a peripherals directory. That's my problem. These are our things. These aren't IDF things. That's why. Thanks for speaking up, Ivan. Triggering my brain to be like, oh, that's us. That's why it's there. Must be some other problem then. There was a thing about somebody getting chastised as a senior. On Twitter, there was somebody who was a staff software or senior software engineer, and somebody was like, you shouldn't make silly mistakes like that. And I'm just like, please. You think that senior engineers are characterized by their ability to like write something perfect the first time? Like, that is not how it works. Okay, so what is device here? Let's start 84. I just want the fresh version of this file. I went the wrong direction with that. All right, that's much simpler. So let's see, frequency in 40. Yeah, let's reload it. So this is where we're directly talking to it. So this is going to be at the hardware level. So we need to figure out where that came from. Like, that's the rabbit hole I went down that was weird. Like, it's usually, like, that's a low-level thing. That's a macro that gives the type. Like, this looks close. Like, maybe it's called something else. Even seniors use a cheeky Stack Overflow from time to time. Yeah, I do all the time. Construct, okay. This has got to be really painful for you. I'm sorry. You put this whole system together and I'm just like, I'm not going to use it. All right, let's include that. And again, we'll just do the S2 version for now. So we'll similarly probably just do a search for ESP32-S3 and replace it with like whatever platform we're on. Okay. this. I wonder if we need this now. Ah, I got AG in my fingers still. Okay, 315. Timer group struct. That's what we want. Let's make sure we have it here. I wonder if... Oh, weird. Let's see if that fixes it. This is all early stuff. Nope. Maybe Phil got it renamed. Yeah, it looks like it did. You don't have to help me. I can figure it out. I feel so bad not doing it the way that I'm supposed to. I feel bad and yet I'm still doing it. I shouldn't say I feel that bad about it. Components, sock. ESP32-S3. Timer peripheral, although we want to include timer. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like it got switched. Well, maybe it got switched to a composite or whatever these are called. Int clear timers. Int clear timers 62, 64. Has no member T1, T2, but I think it looks like it got renamed to... Oh, no. Oh, okay. It has the int clear at the end of it. I don't know. I like stuff like this is kind of painful to go through, but the renames generally are better. Like, I understand why things are renamed when they are. Nice. Mark has some RP2040 boards with CircuitPython on them. I really want to get back to the, like, I would like to get... What was I going to say? Get back to the Game Boy cart. I know what I want to do with the Game Boy cart now. I want to put an RP2040 on it, and I want to make it thick so that you don't have to put it in the cart. What do you think? This is probably just TX alarm. So that's line 66. Let's just assume that's right. We're going to get another error. Maybe. Or is that it? Time for some more water. I should have done J32. I'm going to try switching my audio to a lapel mic. Because I think I'm bad at like keeping my face in front of it. Ooh. Protomatter. So we're gonna have to update that too. Sorry. Protomatter source arch ESP32. You get 0 bonus points for it working the first time. I know it. I know it feels good. I don't trust it when it works the first time. TX. What was the other one? Count low. Pink LEDs. That sounds fun. What did this change to? Oh, did I lose the file? Where was I looking at that? Here we go. All right, it's probably a neighbor of TX update. TX update. Update. So it's probably low. Where'd it go? Count low. It's probably txlow.txlow. Maybe? I have a box given to me by Espressif that says ESP32-S3 DevKit M1. Is this going to be useful? So, potentially. This is the first step to C3 support as well. I mean, I guess not. But I would do it here as well. Like, all of this, like, reworking of the build system is going to benefit the C3 too. The C3 as well. Okay, so let's just delete the libraries that it can't find from the build. And we'll chase down, that list comes from, the list comes from things that we can't find at the link phase. So I thought we deleted the ESP32-S2 one already, but I guess there's 2 spots. It's here. What we have, oh, I thought it was in a second spot. Where's the live RTC one? Ah, here we go. Live RTC. Binary blobs. Components link. Components. ESP Wi-Fi Live-Fi. We'll be ready for the IDF 4.4. Hey, Johnny. I have an S3. I also have a C3. But that's not what I'm working on. Because the C3 doesn't have native USB, so S3 is the better place to start. ESP32-S2. If I look for that, I'm going to find too many things. Maybe this one goes away? The library must have been renamed. No such file or directory. Okay, so we're to the point. Let's clean and just build once more to double check. But this is what Ivan was saying we probably wouldn't have, is that our the linking process changed, so we're gonna have to update our copy of that. And there is some SDK stuff we're going to have to change as well. But we might be able to ignore that. Okay, so this is the linker script generation stuff. With C3 Rev 3 having CDC working for flashing now, any plans for mass storage support? My understanding, yeah, Ivan says the C3 USB is not programmable. It's a fixed function peripheral which knows how to do CDC and JTAG only. So no mass storage flashing support on C3, I'm afraid. Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm like more interested in the S3 here, because the USB is like full-fledged S3. Bonum asks, since the ESP32-S3 has 2 cores, is threading going to be included in the future? It will be included if somebody adds it, but I have no plans on adding it. The way that I would treat it is just the second core will do Wi-Fi. The second core will do Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, like all the IDF stuff, and then maybe we can live on the other core. But I haven't set it up that way. Like probably to start, we'll just all run on the same core. There's an app for the S2 which makes it behave as the USB to CDC. CDC mass storage and JTAG bridge. Okay, so let's go. This is the point where we wanted to look at that project that we were doing. So first let's say, where's these linker? These LD files. Where is that in here? Okay, so here's the list. This is the linker command line arguments. And I think that's what yeah, so the link step is saying like, hey, I can't open this linker script file. ESP32-S3 out. Yeah, so this stuff is what's going to change. So we need to look for the LD files in the Hello World project that we did. And so I'm going to add a new folder to the project. Go into my esp-idf, examples, get started, Hello World. And I'll just open that. And then there's this build directory and build ninja and -l .ld. Okay, so these are the files that it makes. LD gen system, but that's not where they're added to the flags, but I think that's what this is. I'm gonna double click this so that it stays open, which is a lot. I have a love-hate relationship with that feature. But if we look here, we can see this is the -t stuff. So can we find the top of this? So this is definitely the linker phase. Yeah, so link libraries, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just gonna snag all of these. And start there. Oh, there's more. So let's try that. Let's go from there. Okay, so I'm going to delete all these. I might stash these those things elsewhere. This, I'm gonna say components, ESP-ROM, ESP32-S3 LD. So we already have that. 3:30. I've got 30 minutes left, and then I am donezo. I just did this one. Linker scripts are interesting. I think, I don't know. Building C is hard. I don't know what is -L. I think we need this. We could delete it and see if it works or not. But clearly we needed some of them. Oh, you know, that might be location. That's where it's looking for libraries. Because there are other flags that we had to add. I don't know. Let's see where we are. Handslap says L is to specify an additional path to look for libraries. -T. So -T, I think, is the linker scripts. So LD files are linker scripts. Mark says -L is the live directories as well. Hi, Anthony. Pierre says, it's a good idea to have Wi-Fi BLA on one core and CircuitPython code on the other. NRF52 has only one core, and the Nordic soft device uses the same core at a higher priority. Less time for user code with lots of BLE comms. Yep. Any reason you're not using CMake? Yes. The reason is that the other ports don't use CMake. So I would rather have ugly make in all of the ports than have CMake in one of the ports, because we have like board level configuration stuff that uses the make system that is uniform across all our ports. So I choose to be in this world of pain so that we can have consistency across all of our ports. So I said, if somebody wants to switch our entire build system over to CMake, I would take that. But I do not know that. Line 160. Oh, I think I just had an extra one. So yeah. No such file or directory. So I think this is a case where build ESP system. Like, I bet we need this here. Would that make sense? Let's see if that fixes it. I don't know. Nope, it didn't. It's not right. There's the inversion. Oh, it's doubly nested. Oh, look at that. Okay. I think that's what Ivan was telling me. Put it at the top level. Oh, for all these probably? Ah, okay. Thanks, Mark. Both Mark and Ivan called it. Let me know that. So the IDF is doing all of this linker generation, linker script generation, and so that's why they're in build. Still no such file or directory. I mean, maybe I just need, like, this has double IDF and this has double IDF. So let's add it here. These could be fixed linker scripts, so those could probably stay the same. No such file or directory. Sections.ld. Okay, so this is going to be in I probably have to build it. Yeah, we build the ESP-IDF stuff in doubly nested ESP, I think. You should do a session using the live share feature of Visual Studio Code so some people can help code along with you. That's worth a shot. I don't really like VS Code. It's too noisy for me, but it could be fun. Okay, so I think we do have this ninja. We have this ninja command where we build stuff. And I suspect that we need to build that. Like, I think I deleted an LD rule. So if we have our build ninja up and we just look at, like, let's find sections.ld. Like, there's this. LD gen. Let's just try that. Let's see if that works. And let's do a make clean again, because I don't trust it. Digear says, I'm with Scott. I'm a huge Sublime Text fan. It just gets out of the way and I can get on with programming. Yeah. Exactly. Ask Patrick says, yeah, so Keith EE says, what aspect is noisy and what does your editor do differently? And Ask Patrick W says, VS Code has pop-ups. Open a file with some extension, Clippy shows up and asks you to help. Yeah. Yeah, so it's that plus the, like, auto analysis stuff that just, like, causes everything to grind to a halt. Bothers me too. You can silence VS Code. I understand that I can silence it, but it does it by default. And Sublime Text is very fast. Like, that's the other thing. This is very snappy. So I am perfectly happy with Sublime Text, and you all can be perfectly happy with VS Code, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just like... I like Sublime Text. I use Sublime Merge as well. Ask Patrick W says, I was summarizing Scott on that. I love VS Code and all the auto stuff, but I don't code all day like Scott does. I think it's also just like personal preference, right? Like, it's fine. Like, I've just never been in a world where I get a lot of help, right? Like, I've never really done Visual Studio Code stuff, and I think that I think people, I understand how it would be beneficial, but I just have never been there. Hi, Dave. Sleep well. Okay. How far did we get through this linker list? Not far. I wonder if we're going to have to do the same thing for all of them. Like, if we just look for LD gen. Oh, there's just output sections. Maybe I'm missing a location. FD ESP32-S3 ROM. There it is. Components ESP ROM ESP32. So that would be, yeah, so I think these ones, I don't need them. I think I got a little overzealous. I think these ones are the ones that don't get built because they're ROM. So what these are characterizing is stuff that's fixed in the ROM. Or in the libraries that are already built for you. I'm no longer happy with Emacs. The version I installed in my brain is from 1990. Patrick says maybe we need to add an FAQ to the deep dive repo. Sure. Keith says, I'd code with pen and paper if my computer could use it. IDEs have so many learning curves and I've never had motivation to figure them out. Yeah, like Sublime Text can do a lot more than I'm using it for as well, but I don't use it for that. So, okay, so here's the case where like we're not linking everything in that we need to be linking. And so I just like take this and I say RG that. And that will find it. How did I find it? Like ESP5. There is a deep dive repo. Yes, so Patrick created a, it's the deep dive notes repo, is what Patrick's talking about. So if you go to github.com/adafruit/deep dive notes, all of the notes are there, and Patrick has automated the ability to like click the time codes. And so that'll take you straight to YouTube at the time code that it's for, which is awesome. And that's the way you can search the time codes across all the deep dives. That's why Patrick did it. So I'll link y'all to that. Okay, so I've got to figure out what I need to link. You know, I deleted that phi thing. I wonder if fd all.a. Oh boy. I think I matched everything. Fd star.a. regex parser. What is the end of a, is it this? Oh dear. How do I find all the .a files? fd help. \b for the end. No. Find will do it. I'm trying not to use find, but it did work. That is what I want. This is what I want here. Where did I delete that from? I definitely deleted it from somewhere. I deleted it from... Where was that list? I had a list of... Was it this list? Or the binary Wi-Fi blobs list? ESP components, ESP Wi-Fi. ESP components, ESP Wi-Fi here. But it looks like it must have been moved to ESP-Fi. So let's just go like this. We can call it binary phi blobs. Although I don't think there's that many, is there? There's just the RTC. Actually, let's just add the one. Ooh, and I picked the wrong one. Wrong white one. I picked S3. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And we're not going to get there today. Sorry, folks. I teased you. I don't think we're going to get to the S3 today, but I will commit this all, and you can follow my branch. The tape is there. Patrick is asking whoever put the tape on these for the standoffs. The tape's there so that the pick and place can pick it up. So they come that way. Awesome. Okay. So it's still undefined reference. Is it circular? I feel like this list is less long. See, I thought that it would be in that file. There's no generic. I don't see a generic lib-fi. What is the command to list everything in something? Extensa. Elf. Dump. Oh. T. I know there's no file. What's in here? I forgot what I'm looking for. NM. Yeah, that would work too. Where do we think it is? It's like, what's the magic incantation for me to just do that on all these files? I probably have it somewhere. Like, maybe it's just from here. Like, maybe it's just something we're building. Like, esp-fi disable is like there's ROM. Like, this library is referencing something that we can build. So components, ESP source, ESP-fi. Oh, you know what? I bet it's here. ESP-fi. Did we delete it from there? David's feeding me all the commands. Heyo! We got output. That's good news. Do we think it works? I happen to have one right here. I don't think there's anything important on it. Oops, I think I missed it. Okay. We have a UF2. CircuitPython ports. I was like, where's ESP32? Espressif. Unexpected maker. Firmware UF2 copy here. Fingers crossed. This is a good place to stop. I'll ship it either way. Did it not copy over? No, it's orange. Heyo! We have a CircuitPy drive. We have repl. No pull up, but that's fine. Now transition to the S3 in 7 minutes. I'm tempted. I'm actually tempted. Okay, so let's commit this first. I wonder if it's just a huge search and replace. Git status. Git add everything. Git status. Git add protomatter. Git status. Oh, crap. Okay, so I've got to go. I do have to stop soon. Git add this. Git. I don't know if I have my own protomatter yet. So let me make that. This is enough success for me today. I didn't know if I would have to update the IDF or not. I was thinking I wouldn't. Fork to myself. But my branch will be pushed publicly shortly. If anybody else wants to try it this weekend, you're welcome to. I will not be working on it over the weekend. Maybe not even next week. Get remote add. Get switch. C. ESP-idf update. esp-idf 4.4 git commit updates for 4.4. Okay. Git push tannewt esp-idf 4.4. Yeah, we can do this as a team effort. The same work would have to be done for C3. So if you don't have an S3, although I guess Bluetooth won't work, but you could do the UART stuff. Okay, so there's one other thing that we have to change because I just pushed to my copy of protomatter. I've got to update git modules as well for protomatter. Otherwise, so this is the sort of change that would cause you to have to do a sync, a git submodule sync. All right, so we've got everything here, and now we can do a. Okay, I don't care about that. Switch to esp-idf master. It'll become 4.3 for latest for S3. Let's be clear, ESP32. Yeah, I'm not gonna have a chance to try S3. It'll be 4.4, maybe at some point. This commit may not even make it to the main repo. Where did my formatting did it? I don't care. Don't care about my formatter. Git push tannewt ESP32-S3. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think worst case next week, I'm gonna do more BLE stuff. I gotta work mainly on BLE, but I would like to. I don't necessarily want to get in the ESP32-S3 rabbit hole, but I would like to get it to the point where the USB works. I would like to do I would like to be the person that does all this build stuff that we're gonna need to do. But I really do want to get to the Raspberry Pi as well, and the S3s aren't generally available yet, although the C3s are, but that would require BLE I/O, and I don't really want to do BLE right now because I'm in that land and I need some time away. But I'll link you all to it, and we can get that in the notes. Same IDF work has to happen on tannewt too. I bet it would be simpler. Daigir asks, what are you doing with the Raspberry Pis? I want to get Raspberry Pi. I want bare metal CircuitPython on the Raspberry Pi, on the Broadcom chips, is my goal. Okay, let's do housekeeping on the flip side. Thank you all for hanging out. Let me switch to my video. How's the Wii balance board? It is sitting on my floor still. I have not done anything with it. I warned somebody I'm working with on another project for the Washington State broadband stuff. I was like, I don't quit things. I just stop working on them. So that's the danger with me. Okay, so thanks all for hanging out. Thanks to Ivan for getting Adafruit a few copies of these S3s, and thanks to Adafruit for sending me one of them. Thanks to Unexpected Maker for sending me stuff back channel as well. I'm excited about this chip. Obviously it's not a super high priority for me because it's not generally available, but it's good work to do. And this is kind of the hardest work to do. And so getting that out so that people can build on it makes it easier for other people to contribute. So if you want to support me, you can go to adafruit.com and purchase something there. Adafruit pays me to work full-time on CircuitPython, which we saw just a little bit of. Yeah, so deep dives, they're typically 2 hours just like this. Sometimes we have a hard cutoff at 4 like we do today, but generally we don't. Generally, we also have a cat in the cat cam, but he's not in here with me today. He's fine. Nothing wrong with him. He's just downstairs. And he might be getting away from this open window. That's kind of cold. What else? Thanks to David for taking notes. Thanks to Patrick for getting the notes in the shared repository. I might be a little slow on the description, updating the description, since I'm going off to do something, but I'll try to do that by tomorrow. Next week, let me double check I think next week Friday is fine. In fact, I'm almost 100% positive. Yeah, I'll next week's on Friday as well. So yeah, I do want to do Pi stuff, so we'll see. I would like to get the S3 knobs turning. I'd like to get S3 USB going, but maybe not do all the BLE stuff. So anyway, all sorts of exciting stuff. I'm planning on doing some streams on the Raspberry Pi stuff, which is my first foray into Cortex-A level stuff, which would be really interesting. Probably some USB debugging there as well, because we actually have to start in TinyUSB, not CircuitPython. But yeah, I can just keep talking, and I have to stop. So thank you all again. Thanks, David. Thanks to Patrick, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week, 2 p.m. Pacific, here on the Adafruit server. Support me by going to, or if you want to join the Discord, which I forgot to say, you can go to the URL adafru.it/discord and join us there all week long. With that, I'm out. Thank you all. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.